Naventic here, OpTic Gaming, our second-ranked team after falling barely to Team Envious, going up against our 8th-ranked team, Naventic. But of course, we had a roster change here as well, so expect new things here from Naventic. Now, of course, started off the season a little rough, have not been able to pick up a win quite yet. But when you have those roster changes, sometimes that's what you need to revitalize the squad and get back into it.
Yeah, and this is a pretty tight-knit group. I mean, we're looking at the squad right now. Rynoob destroyed Contra, and then obviously the replacement that is coming in here is Prototype. So we're going to look at Contra right now, who has definitely probably the best shot. Definitely probably, but yeah, definitely probably.
Definitely probably. I like that.
Great word selection there. But yeah, so Contra, great shot. He's going to have to not have a slow game one. I think that's been the #1 problem for Contra, especially in this fall pro league here in 2017. Contra, he's been competing since 2007, so he's got 10 years of experience underneath his belt. Those are the game types right there, and it's a tough matchup for Prototype in this new squad, the new Naventic lineup, because you're going up against OpTic Gaming, and what a series that OpTic Gaming Envy series was. But got to give it to Naventic. They have started to see some serious improvements going forward in their scrims. They started off slow, and they've continued to pick it up, more and more wins going underneath their belt. They game a lot together. They're a very tight-knit group. I've actually been gaming a lot with SwiftKill as well, and he's bringing a lot to the table. He's constantly going to be keeping these guys with the times, and also when you have another former pro player that played the game at a very high level like SwiftKill did, he can go and help with the small strategy things as that 5th extra player. So I'm looking for SwiftKill, maybe not to make a huge impact on this specific series, but going and taking this as a learning experiment. It's your first series as a team playing at a very high level here in a tournament atmosphere. You can go and look at these games if you're SwiftKill and take that into your next series tomorrow for improvements.
Yeah, I mean, they always say you learn more from a loss than a win. Now, we're not saying it's a guaranteed loss here, but they are going up against this OpTic Gaming squad. And if you've been following Halo, you know just how ridiculous this squad has been and what they've been able to accomplish here. You know, cementing themselves as a dynasty here for Halo 5 OpTic Gaming across all the platforms and games that they competed, always being right near the top.
Yeah, watch your eyes, guys. I don't want you guys to get blinded by my Master Chief there too. We got some bling bling going up here on the Xfinity desk.
I'm gonna blind you, Tom, with mine. All right, reflected in your eyes.
I mean, you got a small one compared to mine. So.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go there, Tom. No, I'm just kidding here. But like we said, very first matchup, OpTic Gaming going up against Naventic, and we almost have the players set up here. So once they are ready to rock and roll, we will get this game underway here. And Tom, let's take a look at the game types once again and see how they're going to match up.
Starting off with Coliseum CTF, and if you're Naventic, that's really all you got to know right now. It should just be about what's your beginning strategy here. Let's make this elongated game. You do not want this to be a 4-minute game where OpTic Gaming gets rockets, they get sniper rifle, and next thing you know, one of your guys is only getting a kill or two. I think we did see Coliseum CTF earlier, obviously different roster, but Envy against Naventic, Rynoob only got 1 kill in that game, and it was at the very last second of the game. So it's not like Naventic's bad at Coliseum CTF by any means. It's just they cannot afford to have a poor performance here, especially to start this series against OpTic Gaming, who you can say that they're the second best team, but in my eyes, until they're beaten at the event on a world championship type of thing, like we did see Splice take them down at DreamHack, but I'm still going to say OpTic Gaming, based on everything that they've earned in Halo 5, they are still the best team until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point to bring up. It's whose best is better than the other team's best. Now, OpTic Gaming probably not at the highest level or performing their best here in Atlanta at DreamHack, but, still able to finish second despite that. Splice, on the other hand, much larger range of being able to perform. So they're worse. We've seen them be really sloppy. We've seen them struggle in some games, just look like they're not all on the same page.
Even at OpTic's worst, they've gotten second.
Right, exactly.
Which is crazy.
Competing back in the day. Yeah, I mean, if you're having an off event and you get second, that is not a bad position to be in.
Yeah, no, it all looks like we had a player drop. It's going to be Lethal. So Lethal going to have to light the gaming candle, get back into it, and get this restarted here, but nothing showing yet. No beginning strategies were given away or anything, so it's just going to be a fresh restart 0-0, and we're going to get it underway. So going back and looking at the OpTic Gaming squad, also when they're playing online, I feel like, you know, with Royal 2, he's not the player that he is online compared to LAN. He definitely goes a lot more beast mode on LAN. So this could be an opportunity if you're Naventic to go and try to steal one again, but it does start with these beginning 2 games. We talk about it. Whenever you're the underdog, you cannot afford to go down 0-2 in the series. Game number 2 is going to be regret, and we haven't seen much regret in the 2017 Pro League. Yeah, I know that every team's going to play each game type X amount of time, so we're going to start seeing a lot of regret towards the tail end of this season, but I'm curious to see how this new squad is of Naventic. Are they going to be able to respond to any type of spawn traps? Are they going to have any type of plan formulated to get out of there? Because it's a very unforgiving game type if you're getting rotated on the spawns. And OpTic Gaming, they do it better than anybody on regret.
Yeah, I mean, they do it better than anyone almost on any map there.
True.
The OpTic Gaming, obviously extremely skilled, extremely comfortable being in, no matter what position they're in, whether or not they're up 2-0, up 3-0, or down in that situation. We've seen that time and time again. You know, it reminds me, going back to, I think, Halo World Championship 2016, they found themselves down 0-2 against Ninja's team at that event there. So
they're playing C9, yep.
Yep, exactly. So now we're starting this one off here with Frosty immediately just pushing
on radar,
across.
though, so he's going to have a disadvantage here. Contra should know where he is, but he has to fight another player.
Yeah, so Contra just going to get taken out there. Quick double team here from Snakebite and Frosty, and already less than 20 seconds into the game, we have a flag pull. You can see, on your screen there, Rockets in the hands of OpTic, but Ryanoob, he's got the sniper rifle here, and already putting this one to use. 100% headshot with 1 bullet fired.
Yeah, this is a great sign for Naventic. Ryanoob stopping that flag, also hitting the no-scope right there. That's going to help secure this one if he could just take out Royal 2, but Royal 2 clutching it up. He hops on the retard eventually. He gets taken out as well. This flag is up for grabs, but I don't think it's going to happen, mainly because of Royal 2 and his just phenomenal lunge that he got right there. Great touch going on, but you got to be worried here if you're Naventic. If you go and try to desperate towards this one, you're going to allow OpTic Gaming to get in position, and they're going to go and counter right back. So very unfortunate that they weren't able to find the last player alive, and now they are stuck without the weapons. So missed opportunity for Naventic. They could have been up 1-0 here, but at the same time, if Ryanoob doesn't even hit that snipe on Frosty, we could be looking at a completely different scenario for OpTic to start this one too. So great job responding from both teams early on in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, maybe going to be a blowout. Didn't want to jinx anything to start this one off, but Naventic clearly showing up, ready to play here today. They were able to secure Sniper off the start of the game, but losing Rockets and almost bringing a flag cap. They got it past that 50-yard line, so much further than OpTic was able to relay their own.
Yeah, interesting that Naventic's not going to overextend here. Looks like they're going to keep everybody on the defensive side and try to push OpTic Gaming out of their base. And it's working. They get 3 dead right there. That's the last guy that's going to fall off the map. He does get a trade right there, but that was temporarily all 4 dead right there. 3 members from OpTic coming off spawn. Frosty has a staggered spawn, so they're going to have to wait for everybody from OpTic Gaming to come off before they decide to push and destroy. You can see him slow playing this one. You're not going to get any type of flag cap against OpTic Gaming when you don't have the numbers. This is not going to work out, so he just ends up jumping off of the map with that one. Not even keeping the flag on the map for these guys to go for the return. So very big misplay there for Destroyed, but now you're going to see Royal 2 get into that Royal 2 spot, which is the cave. No power weapons here. Just doing it with his Magnum and his grenades. Let's see if he's going to be able to get the 2-shot beatdown. Not able to connect right there. Ryanoob clearing that player out, and that's a big kill. So nice defensive stands here coming in for Naventic, but now the pressure is on, and they're going to have to keep it up.
Oh, great shots coming out of Contra there. Picks up the 1v1 win over Frosty. Yeah, and going back to that Destroyed play here, running the flag, accidentally kind of thrust it off the map. Definitely not too happy with that play. He's got to be regretting it. Pretty much if he had taken out window, just thrown it out, been a distraction.
You need to
the
get a kill
last thing
first,
you want to do.
No matter what. You're not gonna cap that in a 4-on-4 scenario with all 4
it was
OpTic Gaming
3v4 actually too, because one of their teammates had already died there, and it just opens up the map here for OpTic.
Yeah, need to slay that out just a little bit more, or just get a kill to stop the pressure. But now, like we said, the pressure is on in Naventic. They're gonna have to play perfect in order to try to stop this one. A nice grenade coming in from Ryanoob. Snakebite, he's rotated back, and some more people coming in to rotate. And that's what's so special about OpTic Gaming right there, Kyle. It could have just been one guy coming back to help secure that flag capture, but 3 people from OpTic all coming back, including the flag guy, to get that first flag capture. Took a little bit longer than they probably would have expected, about 3.5, 4 minutes. but nonetheless, they still do take that lead and still have control, which is the most important part.
Yeah, I mean, Naventic, they might have great defense, but you have to have some offense as well in order to win these objective game types. And we're seeing Snakebite and crew here, this OpTic Gaming squad, just shutting down Naventic right now. Not being able to get as many flags as quickly as they might have hoped, like you pointed out there, Tom, but still in the lead here with that sniper connecting on the no-scopes.
Going for the double kill. Contra, he's going to have to back down. Gets triple team now. Prototype, the last guy alive. At least Prototype was able to overextend. He's going to have to make some big plays. So that's going on the other side of the map as Snakebite's just looking for the picks. Prototype does get one onto Frosty. That could slow things down just a little bit, and he's going to get a touch. So let's see if he decides to run this one elbow, and he does. So the right play coming in from Prototype at the right time. The rest of the team going to have to respond. Ryan does with a perfect kill. He gets straight on out, destroyed. He's going to find the rockets. Prototype eventually dies to lethal, and no, that was a huge kill, destroyed, losing those rockets. And now Naventic, they are going to be on the ropes here. As you're going to see, OpTic Gaming has numerous players to go and be able to return this flag.
Yeah, that's the second almost opportunity that we've seen from Naventic. Now, we had to go back and break down, you know, what each individual player did, but going back to the offense versus defense conversation there, they killed Snakebite. They took the sniper rifle out of his hands. They also had rockets. Those were in Destroyed's hands, but he was not able to connect on any of those and just turned them over. That flag gets returned.
Very big kill right there on the Royal 2. He loses those rockets that Destroyed originally dropped, and now you're going to see a big fight going on over towards the grass. Prototype, he's going to get a trade right there. The big player right now on the map is Contra. Ryan Noob's going to drop, so it's going to be really up to Contra right now to do what Royal 2 did, but just too much resources from the OpTic Gaming side again, sending numerous people back to secure the cap, and they still have weapon control. So that's twice now that they've gone and done this to Naventic. And if you're Naventic, you have to overextend here. You have to go and do exactly what Prototype did and try to win your one-on-one battles across the map and try to run this flag elbow and split this map. Otherwise, OpTic Gaming is going to end this game. That's exactly what Naventic did, so heads up play by them. And we'll find out, will OpTic Gaming be able to get this return and end the game? It's all going to ride on Snakebite's back over here. He has two players, no shields, but eventually gets dropped. 2 kills going on and over to Naventic. This is looking good.
This is looking pretty good that they've set themselves up in this position, especially with those new weapons coming up. Ryan, who gets himself the sniper rifle to 3v3 situation. If he's able to kill Royal 2 here, he does connect on the headshot. This is going to be another great opportunity. We'll see if they can capitalize on this offense here. Ryan, who's got to be careful. That team shot from OpTic is real, and now he's getting focused by 2 different players.
Yeah, he needs to take out his pistol and just clean up lethal right there. He's going for all these miraculous no-scopes. He lands one onto Snakebite. If he would have just took out his pistol, though, he could have cleared out that entire side of the map. But either way, great shot there from Ryan, just doing whatever he can to keep this team in the game. And interestingly enough, Kyle, Naventic, Ryan, he's been getting the weapons a lot more than you would typically expect. You're normally going to see, Contra or even Prototype with the sniper rifle, but Ryan, over the last couple of weeks, especially, ooh, nasty play again. He has been getting the weapons constantly, and that's always been one of his weaker parts of the game where he's been forced to run the objective and hasn't gone on these big sprees with the sniper rifle. It's really great to see him hitting these shots, and it should do some very good things for this Naventic squad.
Yeah, and Ryan, he gets that kill onto Royal 2, grabs rockets, picks up a second kill, but nobody from his team is able to pick up those rockets that were on the ground there. So now you see Lethal. He has 3 of them, puts 1 to use already, 2 left here, already reloaded in the chamber. And here comes that collapse from OpTic Gaming once again here. I don't think they recognize 2 players were in cave. You can tell that call out just came in from Frosty here. Lethal doing what he can to try to focus on some of these. Oh.
And he hits a snipe?
Yeah, he hit that snipe. Not a bad play by either player, really. Both just showing their individual skill there.
Yeah, a lot of players have been clutching this up, and you really got to look back at Royal 2, though, the guy that we're on right now. For when he was the last guy alive, stopping that first original flag cap from Naventic. It could be a 2-2 game right now. Naventic looking to put in that 3rd and final cap to potentially go up 1-0, but the heroics on over towards the DMR side of the map were just too much. So now Royal 2 going to try to get in position with his teammate on over towards the snipe side and push on in where he got that flag return. Great elbow runs coming in, adding pressure numerous times on the Naventic side. You can see once the flag gets grabbed, Royal 2 doesn't know exactly what he wants to do. He's waiting for information to come from his teammates before he decides what the play is going to be, and it's delaying things a little bit. OpTic Gaming, they're this well-oiled machine, but when you go and you throw a wrench in the middle of their plans, it really could mess things up. So a great objective focus coming in for Naventic has been keeping them alive, pal.
Oh, and Ryan, who gets caught trying to clamber up, going front red, and, you know, trying to be a distraction, stop this flag, trying to focus on a return here, but not going to work out in their favor. Flag is down across the map. Numbers advantage. Ooh, it was in favor of OpTic. Now it's all tied up. Another great showing of defense here on this flag standoff by Naventic here, keeping this alive.
Yeah, right now you have Contra and Prototype working together, then Destroyed's going to lay some shots down from that sniper rifle side. So OpTic, while they do have the pressure right now, they're going to have to get these weapons if they want to continue to do anything. You're going to see Lethal picks up the sniper rifle. Meanwhile, Ryanoop, he has rockets. He's inside of the OpTic Gaming base right now. So we may see a double return here, or we could see, obviously, you know, OpTic Gaming put one in. You could see Naventic put one in, but to me, it looks like these guys are split up right now for a potential double return.
Yeah, it looks like Ryanoop's got the rockets, not able to connect on that one. Looks away a hair too early. And now, what a great job here from OpTic. Just a little bit of a misplay coming in from Naventic, and that is, you know, all it takes to lose a game against one of these amazing squads we have.
Yeah, fortunately for Ryanoop, on the other side of the map at his base, his teammates have been clutching it up as 3 members of OpTic have been flying in. So it's been 3-on-3 on this side. Meanwhile, it was a 1-on-1 on the other side of the map. Those are the rockets that Ryanoop lost. Frosty flying in there, getting that first kill on a Prototype should open some things up. Now Contra, he's got to be worried because he got too aggressive. They're going to be getting this return on the other end of things. Ryanoop does pick up a kill. It is 2-on-2 right now, but they do not go for the return on OpTic Gaming side. They slow play this one. And Kyle, they could continue to slow play this one. 1 minute and 45 seconds left. If the return doesn't go in for Naventic's side, this is going to end just on time alone. So heads up plays coming in from OpTic. They're kind of just playing the scenario right now, but you know they want that third and final flag cap.
Yeah, we got 2 dead here for Naventic, and for any new viewers there, it will go into an overtime should Naventic get this return and focus or tie the game. It'll go 3 extra minutes on the clock there, but yeah, Tom pointing out some of these rockets that are missing here. These are the ones they need to connect, especially in the flag standoff. Just great jobs here coming out of OpTic Gaming being that distraction, and that's a heartbreaking one. You really want to focus on that return when you get that new set of rockets.
Yeah, that's just very unfortunate turn of events for Ryan. Could have played those rockets a little bit better, but a little bit of panic setting in, and that's what OpTic Gaming does to you. You know, Ryan, he's one of the best players in the entire world. He's sitting in here, obviously a top 32 player in North America, and he's still not able to connect on 4 rockets just because the way that these guys are moving around the map, manipulating the radar, and just calling out where the rocket guy is. So a big missed opportunity coming in from Naventic. Again, only 40 seconds left. They got to get desperate here. It's hard, though. You have Royal 2 adding pressure. You want to go in for the return. You want to send multiple players over there, but you can't. And there they are. They hop on the return with 28 seconds left. The flag actually goes in, Kyle. Royal 2 couldn't get aggressive enough. I wonder what was going on the other side of the map. They obviously had numbers for OpTic Gaming, but they weren't able to do anything. Naventic pulls a rabbit out of the hat and gets the second flag cap, and they're in position to run another one.
Yeah, I mean, watching Royal 2 screen, I'm not sure how that happened. He killed 1 player. I think it was Prototype, a couple shots in a melee there, and then was fighting the 2 players coming off of respawn here from Naventic's side. Somehow in that 1v3 type of situation, Naventic's still able to get a return and tie this one up.
Snakebite is the last guy alive. He just picked up 2 kills. He picked up a 3rd. Can he find the 4th? He can't. Destroyed puts in the 3rd flag cap. Naventic, they take game number 1 by surprise, 3-2. Fantastic objective work from them.
Yeah, especially with how that game started off and a couple of those missed opportunities that we were highlighting on. It's a little surprising. Like they could have had this game 5-2, and I don't think any of the other OpTic Gaming pulls were as close as Naventic's pulls were to going in.
Yeah, but at the same time, OpTic Gaming, it felt like they had to control a majority of that game, especially towards the last 3 minutes where they were constantly and consistently adding pressure towards the Naventic base. Never even able to get that return. Ryanoop, he missed about 6 rockets. It didn't even matter in the grand scheme of things as we take a look at the stats. 24, 14, and 22. Ryan ends up going positive. You could see how bad they got outslayed on the Naventic side, and that's why you have to give props where they're due. They were going for the flags at the right time and pulling them at the right time to add pressure on the map. Look at the flag grabs that they ended up having overall. They grabbed more flags than OpTic Gaming, and they put more flags than OpTic Gaming. They overslayed too much, and they did a great job of securing the flag captures, but they just didn't get in there and run them fast enough.
Yeah, and I mean, just to go back to that standoff, 2-1 in favor of OpTic in a flag standoff where Royal 2 was kind of going pretty clutch there. Wins his individual battle, is fighting the last two flag carriers, and somehow not able to capitalize there. So this is Naventic. Maybe it's a little bit of a honeymoon phase. Maybe this is the real deal. But either way, this is not a circumstance we see a lot of when OpTic Gaming is down 0-1 in the series.
Yeah, and Prototype, he's starting to fit in immediately. Again, we talked about how tough this matchup was. Heck, if you were to ask me what my predictions were before the series started, I probably would have said 3-0 in favor of OpTic, maybe 3-1. But this is a great start for them. Now they move into Regret Slayer, which is game number 2. And keep in mind, we haven't seen much Regret Slayer here in the 2017 Pro League. I'm not saying that teams are rusty playing or anything like that, but obviously after Coliseum CTF, anything could happen in this series.
Yeah, I mean, OpTic Gaming, they're not a team that normally loses back-to-back games, but this Naventic roster, like we said, with that team change, we haven't seen a lot out of them here. Actually, haven't seen anything out of them besides some of these online scrims here. So Prototype, clearly, taking a game off OpTic might have been the right decision here for them making that change, because like we talked about before, sometimes it revitalizes the squad, all 4 members. So not only does it affect the chemistry and dynamics of that team, but it encourages everyone to step up their game and compete again. And you see that with a lot of roster changes.
Yeah, and even though Prototype hasn't been able to maintain any type of Pro League status besides just now getting into Naventic, you got to keep in mind that he was a very formidable opponent in previous Halo games, and he's got numerous top 8 performances in the H2As and other games as well. So he definitely can bring that extra strategy and also different situational awareness that other players may not have been able to bring to the table. That's why they probably ended up going with him as their 4th player. One play that comes to mind was, again, those overextensions that were happening over towards the elbow side. Once OpTic Gaming gets control of the snipe side, what else to do? You have 2 opportunities, 2 options. You can go and clear out your base, or you can go and overextend towards the other side. Overextending, it's a little bit risky, but it pays off huge dividends if you can pull it off. So we'll see what these teams have in store. Regret Slayer. Lethal missing that jump is not the end of the world for OpTic Gaming, but it's going to slow things down towards the overshield a little bit. And Rynoob, he's going to pick that up. So the guy that got 5 power weapon kills in the previous game, starting this game up with his first power up.
Yeah, and that was some great grenades coming out from Naventic. Somebody threw a grenade deep into Red 1 to actually get Lethal weak, and then they finish off the kills with their team.
Frosty
to go on 2 clutch.
That's huge. That was big right there. Frosty turning a double kill, 1 onto a player who still had a little bit of overshield. So big plays coming in from him. And also nice bait and switch coming in from Naventic as they were able to take down Snakebite. Contra not challenging, and that nice little pre-grenade predicting that he was going to jump back out. We'll see if these guys from Naventic can get top center control right now. That's what Prototype's main focus is. He's got 2 players top center, and now he's trying to clear out car side, and that's exactly what he did, taking down 1 player, which was Lethal. Now rotating around. Royal 2's going to find a kill on the Destroyed, but that flanker over towards top center, Frosty, is a huge nuisance. They're going to have to drop him. A couple kills going on over to favor of Naventic. Prototype, smart play not to challenge that, but then again, Lethal, he's flanked over towards top center. He's weak right there, so he's going to get traded out. And Naventic, 9-7 to start this, and this is a good sign for them. They do not want to let OpTic Gaming back into this one, though. They have them trapped inside the base. They have them down low. Now is the opportunity to impose your will.
Yeah, but we see Frosty grab a kill, so it's going to be a numbers advantage here as Contra answers right back. So 3v3 overall map control. You got to give it to Naventic here. Generally speaking, you always want to have that height advantage. Got about 30 seconds here before we're going to see this overshield come up. So 10-9, not a bad way to start this one off here in game number 2.
Destroyed, trying to find Lethal, who's just around the corner. Unfortunate timing right there for him, and then he ends up shooting the player top center and not getting that kill. But you're right, Kyle, it's all going to come down to this overshield here, which is popping up in about 10 to 15 seconds here. Whoever gets that is going to have a huge advantage. But OpTic Gaming, they got right back into this right when we were saying Naventic needs to go and rotate the spawns. That's when they allow OpTic Gaming to go and flank over towards top center. But Frosty, he's not dropping down towards the bottom. Nobody right now from OpTic in position to get the overshield. And Contra, he's going to walk away with that. I don't see anyone with the plasma pistol on OpTic, so it's weird to see them just kind of give that one up and say, hey guys, that's your overshield.
Yeah, and it looks like Frosty, they saw him go into Red 2, so now you got multiple people here from Naventic kind of trying to clear out that base. find whether or not Frosty's hiding there. You do not want to have a player get a great flank like that as soon as you push out of the bases. But Frosty taking some, kind of unusual routes, maybe a little bit just catching Naventic off guard, but they will go ahead and spot him now. He has made his way over here towards Car Blue as they're working on a little bit of a collapse, but great teamwork here coming out of Naventic.
So big to get that player no shields so Ryan can come around and land that melee. I believe Ryan's shields were still charging, so a 2-2 split right there. But top center control in the favor of Lethal. Destroyed. Great teamwork there coming in from Naventic. They're going to drop another player from OpTic Gaming. Trades coming in back and forth. Nobody establishing dominant footing quite yet. Just been OpTic getting control, then Naventic getting control over and over again, but 2 overshields in the favor of Naventic. They're going to have the time for that next one, and if they continue to grab those without OpTic Gaming adding pressure, they're going to go up in this series 2-0. I don't care how good OpTic Gaming is. You cannot afford to give control up to any of these other Pro League teams, but I like where OpTic Gaming's mindset is at. If they don't have control, they're going and sending flankers, then immediately going around towards top center. If you're Naventic, you have to watch out for that.
Yeah, we'll see Contras. He's in a battle here with Royal 2, but he took a shot from behind here, so he's a little bit weak. Wisely backs down. You do not want to challenge this one. OpTic Gaming, all 4 members are back alive. That player came off spawn P1 and gets a great angle for a free double kill there. All tied up now as we're about to hit the halfway point.
Yeah, and Ryan gets hit with a hit marker right there, so he's no shields. Frosty, he's got numerous grenades, shucking 3 over there, 2 frags and 1 plasma. Now OpTic Gaming, they get top center, but Contra trading out Frosty immediately, and then Prototype taking out Lethal as well. So as soon as it looks like one team is about to go and rotate the spawns, the other team just comes right back and has great communication to clean up the weak players, and that's what Regret is really all about. You cannot allow players that are one shot to continue to run around. Right there, Royal 2 again. He was weak, but they caught him before his shields came back up. A big 50-50 happening right there in Prototype. He's going to take down Snakebite.
Yeah, newest member to the team here. Prototype not letting the nerves affect him here. Wins that 1v1. That's not an easy thing to do against Snakebite. Had the battle rifle, so you got to give it to his advantage there, but we've seen it happen time and time before. That pistol, you can pull off some dirty perfects with that.
You really can. Now Prototype, he's going to get into a prime position. Can he win this 1v1 against Snakebite again? No, that was a 1v1 that he had to get. That 2-shot beatdown was available for him. Instead, he goes with the 1-shot beatdown, and Snakebite punishing him for it. 30-30 here. We are all knotted up. This series has been a lot closer than almost anyone could have predicted, Kyle.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about ESPN show 30 for 30 there, but now it's 32-30. We do have Naventic back in the lead. Now, the second half of the game, that's always been the time where we've seen OpTic Gaming really kind of turn on the afterburners there, really start pulling ahead of these teams. So there's not a whole lot of time left to do that, and Naventic is hitting this halfway point in full swing. As you see, still racking up kills. Contra picking up a kill, still full health. Just as I say that, yeah, phenomenal nade here from Royal 2.
I like Contra's thought process there, where he had the guy that got green gun and it was no shields over towards his left, but his teammate started getting shot in the back. So he tried to get that savior medal and try to take him down before his teammate died. Rhino with the nice crispy shots right there onto Snakebite. He does get taken out of no shield, so it gets answered back by Frosty. So again, great job from both these teams responding to the 1-shots. But this is where it's crunch time, Kyle, and as you talked about before, this is when OpTic Gaming typically has shined, so let's see what happens here. Naventic, even if they go up 2-0 in this series, they cannot get too excited. We did see OpTic Gaming almost pull off that ridiculous reverse sweep as well, so we're going to see here 37-37. It all comes down to winning these 50-50s, and Royal 2, he's going to start with on Rhino.
And that was a ridiculous win there. Rhino not being able to clutch that melee, kind of, whether or not he got sucked up in the lift, whatever it was, nonetheless, Royal 2 goes absolutely clutch, winning that battle. Not even a trade, which is probably what it should have been if Rhino was able to connect on that melee. But 42-40, his team's still able to get that overshield, but that is, in these games that come down to 50-49, it can all be decided by a play like that.
Another overshield went over to Contra in the Naventic squad, and then they picked up 3 kills in a row after that. 43-43. Control in the favor of Naventic. Prototype, he's got to be careful. He could get flanked around the corner right there, and he does. Very unfortunate timing from him. And now OpTic Gaming, they are going to charge because they have the numbers advantage. Rhino, he gets a kill on over towards Frosty, but again, that gets answered right back from OpTic Gaming. Any type of lead is huge at this point. Destroyed, he's going to drop here shortly. But no, did he pull off a ninja just now against Royal 2? He was for sure left for dead. Now it's 45-45. Are you kidding me? Naventic, they are clutching it up towards the end. Kills going back and forth, 47-46. OpTic Gaming and Lethal trying to tie this series up. 1-1, and they are very close to doing it. 2 players on over towards blue. These could be the last 2 kills.
I feel like I'm watching OpTic versus Envy here, Tom, but no, this is Naventic, our 8th-seeded team here in the Pro League that is giving OpTic Gaming a run for their money. Now, 49-46. Very scary moments here for Naventic. By no means out of this game. We've seen ridiculous comebacks happen before, but Naventic, no room for error here. Prototype getting taken weak. A collapse from OpTic looks like it's happening here. There's players just everywhere. All of Naventic's getting trapped there. Car side, the base. For Prototype grabbed himself a kill, but Royal 2, we've seen him do it time and time again with that plasma caster, picks up a kill there. All those players grouped up there on the shoulder, you know, over towards blue carbine side of Regret there. Amazing game, and you still got to be able to hold your heads high if you're Naventic after that one, because they had you know, a few missteps. They were in it all the way to the end. Go back to that Ryan noob kill beatdown that we talked about. These 50-49 games, that could be completely different. Royal 2 gets the kill onto Ryan noob. He moves up top of the base, stays alive, picks up a couple additional kills. There is such a big swing as opposed to if Ryan noob stayed alive, had the kill, and was a distraction there, forcing OpTic Gaming to pull back into their base.
Yeah, and when you look at the amount of assists that came out from OpTic Gaming, just so much more than Naventic. The team shot was absolutely ridiculous. Towards the end of the game, it could have went Naventic's way if they were able to get Roll 2. He did have that plasma caster, and that was the deciding factor. He's clutched it up in game 1 where they weren't able to win. He clutched it up in game number 2 here. I love the thought process, though, coming in from both of the teams. It could have worked out for Naventic, but OpTic Gaming, they all started to charge together. They baited and switched. They knew that they could all afford to charge out there and just trade kills. So 50-47, game number 2. We're all tied up 1-1 in this series. And like you said, is this OpTic versus Envy? No, this is OpTic versus, what is it, NVT, Naventic?
It is pretty close there. So yes, as we get ready to head into game number 3, that's Stronghold's Empire. So Tom, talk to me a little bit about this one. How do you see this one playing out after what you've seen out of Naventic in these first 2 games?
Well, this is exciting because, you know, obviously we had a CTF, we had a Slayer, now we move into a completely different dynamic, which is Stronghold. So a lot going to be said about these 2 teams right here, and there's not power weapons on this map. So it's going to be mainly, again, picking up these camos, picking up the overshield. And if they do a good job on Naventic side as they did previously, picking up those overshields, Swift Kill was on top of every single time in that game. They got 4 for 4 overshields, I believe, which is a huge recipe for success. It's actually astonishing that they weren't able to win that game just based on that stat alone. So Naventic, to me, they need to capitalize on these situations and make sure that when they do get a setup, that their setups last a lot longer. Empire Strongholds is a perfect opportunity to do that. Now we're starting this one off with the newest member, Prototype.
Yeah, and one thing I want to point out, Tom, and I'm glad you brought that up, 4 for 4 overshields on that Regret Slayer and still losing 50-47. So that's almost kind of a little scary moment. It's great signs for OpTic, the fact that they're able to do that, and a little scary for Naventic. You do not get all of the power-ups against OpTic Gaming. It just doesn't happen. So those rare cases where you're able to get a 4 for 4 type of situation and not take that game, that is a little concerning.
So interesting here that both teams captured the opposing team's side base. Now it's all about that battle for pit, and you can't get that by yourself destroyed. You got to know better than that. Multiple players from OpTic Gaming going to flood in there. Great win right there onto Frosty, but it's going to be tough because Naventic, they are on the outskirts of the pit right now. OpTic, they're currently racking up a couple of, are they going to be able to get it? They have to be able to send multiple bodies in there. Lethal's got to hop in as well. Destroyed comes in there for a second, but there it is. OpTic Gaming putting the first points on the board because of how many bodies they had over towards the pit. Everybody got stuck inside of the security area. Nice shots coming in from Destroyed, but as we said, in the long run, it doesn't really matter. It's all about that pit control. So Contra, he's going to get the Hail Mary and immediately rotate on over there. They had 2 dead, so you can see all the members for Naventic. They come in towards the turbine. They try to get into the pit, but OpTic Gaming, they're going to go in there, get that reset, and maintain control.
Another great nade coming out of here by Ryan, who picking up that hit markers there in Tower 1. So extremely impressive once again. But Naventic, as great of opportunities as they've had, they're 2 individually focused on this bottom hill now. There's 3 members moving around. You can see that on the radar, but OpTic Gaming, they are working here to contest this.
That was one of the best team nades we've ever seen, because if you're going to hit someone with a team nade, you might as well hit a bunch of people with that one. That nade hit 3 different people. So a lot of times when I'm team nade, I'm like, hey man, I thought someone was there. And you know what? Someone was there. There was 3 players there. So right now, he sacrifices life right there, and it ends up getting the pit in the favor of Naventic, but we all know right around this 950 mark, that's when the overshield's coming up, that's when the camo's coming up, and who's going to be able to get it? It's going to be Naventic again with the overshield. But while that's happening, OpTic Gaming with the sneaky pit grab. It's up to Naventic and Contra with this overshield to retake it. But at the same time, you got to be careful. They could have a camo player on the map.
Man, and Snakebite just not even Contra showing up on radar, but perfectly evading him 2 separate occasions and running away with his life there. Prototype finally finishes off that kill, but he has literally almost wasted all of Contra's OS just by being a distraction here.
Yeah, such a nuisance, and while all that's happening, you're gonna have Royal 2 having this camouflage, so we'll see if Royal 2 is gonna pop up on the map anytime soon for OpTic Gaming. But when you have the camo and you have the strongholds, that's where things can get so easy if you're a player like Royal 2. You sit there and you just do what you do best and you just bait players out. You wait for them when they're their most vulnerable and you go in there and you strike while the iron's hot. Prototype, you could see, ends up getting the stick right there onto Royal 2, so finally stopping that run. Now they're going to send 3 players towards the pit. Interesting that Frosty's going to decide to contest from this area. More players from OpTic Gaming are going to have to fly in there, and that's exactly what Snakebite did. Unfortunately for Naventic, they got out of the pit, so all of that hard work over the last 30 seconds just gets thrown out the window.
Yeah, that is a big reset here coming on from OpTic, and look how much additional time it bought for the rest of the team here to get over and contest this. Last 2 members of OpTic are down here in pit, picking up kills, and what was a Naventic lead, essentially as far as numbers and control goes, was great plays by Frosty. 1v3 situation, contests Hill, picks up a trade, and then gets OpTic control of pit.
Yeah, the slays aren't even that big of a difference right now. You have 30 slays in favor of OpTic Gaming, and you have 26 over on the side of Naventic. But when you go and you look at the bottom right, 9 to 52 and counting. It's all about that pit. You need to make sure you're getting this overshield like you did last time if you're Contra, but make sure that you get the pit with the power-ups. That was their biggest mistake that they let happen in this entire game. They did not go and stay in the pit when they needed to, and then they go and they let OpTic Gaming take it from under their nose. So 2 big mistakes have resulted in this score that you're seeing right now.
Oh, and it wasn't a back smack. Contra turns perfectly to avoid dying with that overshield, and sure enough, that overshield being put to use a lot better than that first one that we saw here. Naventic back with 2 hills.
It's not like Contra was making poor decisions with the previous overshield, Kyle. It was a complete team botching. They did not get in the right position for that one. They didn't give Contra any support. So that time, everybody, including Contra, positioned themselves a lot better and made sure that they didn't make the same mistake that they did earlier in their game. So that's a great sign for them that they're going and making adjustments on the fly. They did have a temporary triple cap, but now they have more control than they have had the entire game. So we're going to see how long they can actually control this setup. That was a huge mistake by whoever overextended right there. I believe that was Prototype. And now you're going to have Rhino over here just trying to fight for his life. Fortunately for them, Contra, he's going to pick up an easy barrel kill onto Snakebite. So Contra and Rhino really bailing out Prototype and Destroyed for losing their battles and making poor decisions.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw OpTic Gaming have 3 people in red base. Rhino hit a plasma pistol shot, a charged one, took another player no shields, and then had hit markers on a 3rd player. So even with all that happening, OpTic Gaming still kind of bouncing back into this one. You see Snakebite, that is a big battle happening bottom mid. He needs some help, not going to be able to get it in time. So OpTic Gaming, while they lose pit, you can see they're just so objective, efficient here, capturing both side bases.
Yeah, smart to capture both side bases, but I'm wondering if Frosty could have laid a little bit more help on over towards Snakebite right there, but it's very surprising to see OpTic Gaming go and retake the pit again. They just had 3 dead on both sides. It was 1-on-1 for both teams. How does OpTic Gaming go from having 3 dead to retaking the pit right there is beyond me. They have not done a good enough job on the Naventic side, focusing this area of the map, which everybody knows, I think we talked about it 20 times this game, is by far the most important area to control. So just big missed opportunities coming in for Naventic.
And now the 3rd overshield going over, or at least the 3rd overshield here going over in the hands of Naventic. Like we pointed out in the first game, they had all, or excuse me, in that Regret Slayer game, they had all of the overshields and were still not able to win there. Now that is a big kill. Destroy grabs 1 on Frosty, who had camo, picks up a trade there on the lethal as well. So now we're looking at a triple cap coming out of Naventic. Probably not long though, because OpTic Gaming is quickly focusing on getting these. And just like that, what was just a triple cap here for Naventic is about to be control over to OpTic once again.
Ryan Noob, he has to win this one. He has to get in there and win. And there it is. All 4 dead.
Psych, just
and
kidding.
The reset. So big plays coming in from Ryan. I thought that he was going to get aggressive with the Spartan charge. Instead, he goes for the risky one-on-one pistol win. Ends up pulling it out. Contra, he's going to find a kill onto Frosty. Prototype gets one as well. This is a great opportunity to push here for this triple cap. And there's not much time if you're in a triple cap scenario for OpTic to let it run. So you got to go and stop this bleeding immediately. Ryanoob, he's going to fly out there. An unnecessary death right there, a little bit too early. And now another unnecessary death coming in from Prototype. Yes, they do stop the bleeding from OpTic Gaming side, but they got to get into the pit here fairly soon, and that's immediately what they do. Hopping on it before the Naventic spawners can come up and try to add congestion. Contra, he has to toss a couple grenades in there. Can he do it? No, not enough time. OpTic Gaming is going to go and retake that pit. So I'm a little disappointed in Naventic that when they get the setup, they've been having a couple unnecessary deaths, and OpTic Gaming have really taken advantage of that. But that's what they do. OpTic Gaming, they take opportunities and they punish you for your mistakes, and that's why you have to play clean Halo.
Yeah, but what I'm most impressed by is the fact that Naventic's still in this game, really. The fact that they've been able to mount such a big comeback. They were down 50-something to 9 points, and now it's 88-62, and we can see a lot of action still happening here in pit, but Naventic, they got to be careful. Trying to capture 2 strongholds at the same time is always risky business there. So now we see what OpTic Gaming did just a few minutes ago. Now Naventic has both side bases, ends up losing one, so they really need to put some focus on the pit, but a big win for the camo coming out of Ryanoob.
Contra loses that 1v1 against Snakebite, but you're right, that was a huge 1v1 because Ryanoob going to be able to keep these guys alive if he can hop in that pit with the camouflage, but he has to do it soon. You can see there's only 2 more points before this game's over. No one jumped in there. What is going on? I can't believe that nobody from Naventic understands the situation. They're just going to give it up and roll over towards the end of the game. Unbelievable that Naventic doesn't contest that, especially a player like Ryanoob, who is one of the most selfless players that we've ever seen in Halo, but also he is extremely focused on the objective at all times. Naventic, they could have won this series 3-0. They made 2 huge mistakes in that game, one after another, giving up the pit on over to OpTic Gaming, but you can't take anything away from OpTic. They pulled that one out, and I think this is, you know, OpTic Gaming bringing their B game overall. And
look at these assists from Destroyed.
18, 21, and 16.
Still going positive.
Look at the slays. I mean, they got outslayed, OpTic Gaming did, and they still won that game. As we said, this could have been a 3-0 for Naventic. Instead, it is 2-1 OpTic Gaming right now. Crazy series.
Look at that, 60, about to be 60-9 at least. So what a huge, monstrous lead. And the fact that this game was still, you know, open for Naventic to take it, you know, tells a story about how successful and how much potential that these guys do have. But pointing it out, Tom, I couldn't agree with you more. Big misplays towards the end of the game. One thing I always hated as a competitor myself, it's the last death. The worst thing that can happen right now is you have one more death on the leaderboard. You have to go for that hill. You have to go for the flagpole. Those kind of situations, regardless of what stats are going to be like.
It's heartbreaking to watch. It really hurts, especially if you're a fan of that team, because I don't think that they understood the situation, that the clock was literally about to run out right there. But one thing that I know that Ryan likes to try to do is grab that at the very last second. When teams think that they have the game won pretty much, and you go in there and you hop in around 98, put 2 people in, and then you cap it at 99. And in a situation like that, when you only have to make about a 36-point run, maybe that was their thought process, to wait to the very last second. But you can't wait until the game's over to hop into that one when the victory screen pops up for the other team. It's unbelievable that they outslayed them by that much, had so much teamwork, that many assists coming out from Destroyed, and they still end up losing that game. One thing that they can't let happen, though, is let them deflate their confidence and their energy, because while they could have won this series 3-0, the series still isn't over yet, and there's still 1 or 2 more games to be played. So they have to continue to play how they played since the beginning of this series and not beat themselves up over their little mistakes that they made, because if they can go and clean those up, if they can just maybe hunker down on some communication, we could be seeing a game 5 here, and nobody expected this series to go to 5 games.
No, I mean, and you know, speaking of Naventic, like this team, obviously definitely miscommunication towards the end. They need to be flooding that hill. I'd much rather have all of my teammates dead when the game's ending than have 3 people kind of focused on kills, not jumping into the hill. And that is something that can really tilt the rest of the team as well.
Yeah.
Because somebody probably knew the situation, but not everybody being on the same page there, and now finding themselves down 2-1 in this series, and one that was clearly, capable of them winning this one, giving OpTic Gaming their 2nd loss of the season. Now they find themselves about to pick up another loss here on their record.
It's just like playing a CTF game. If the final flag cap is going in and you have an opportunity to kill the flag guy.
Camo already?
Yeah, he probably did the thrust jump to make his way over towards top center. But going back to that last play, and I'm not going to touch base on it anymore after that since this next game started, it'd be very similar to a CTF game where the last flag is going in, and instead of killing the flag guy, you just kill another guy that's completely useless. And maybe that makes sense when it's the beginning of the game and you're just trying to kill the railgun guy and maintain control, but there has to be desperation setting in towards the end of the games, and we just didn't see that from Naventic.
Yeah.
So they have to clean that up, but they can't let that affect them into this next game, especially as much as it's affected me in my casting in this game over here.
Oh, and Frosty, great job dodging that rail, but Prototype and crew, great job staying alive. You're buying some time. Ryan gets hit by 2 grenades, not going to get taken out quite yet until Royal 2 finishes that off with the railgun here, or excuse me, with the light rifle here, and secures himself now the railgun. And we've seen what Royal 2, is able to do with this weapon. Sets up consistently the anchor for this OpTic Gaming squad, and we'll see he's got the 2 best long-range weapons on this map in his hands right now.
Got to be careful though, because Contra's top center, and that's the kill that they needed to get, taking out the priority target and getting control with this weapon. As you said, Kyle, the 2 best long-range weapons, so he can play this however he wants as long as he continues to stay in this area. You can lay down so much fire, as you see Ryan jumping up top center. He's going to get dropped. Great teamwork coming in from OpTic Gaming towards top center. Not even a necessary railgun, but he's going to take it either way. Potential triple kill coming in. Contra, he's going to dodge a couple of those grenades, but that flag, that is going to get returned. Very close to being a grab right there from Destroyed, but Royal 2 going to pick up 2 kills right there, and the flag is going to go in. 1-0 here for OpTic Gaming. Railgun back up on the map. Camo coming up shortly after that, so a lot of players going to be posturing towards the middle here. Snakebite against Prototype, another big 50-50 happening between these 2 players. Prototype, he's going to back off. Smart play, and assassination coming in from Ryan. That was 3 dead for OpTic Gaming, and a flag being ran from Naventic. 2 kills going on over to OpTic Gaming is going to slow things down a little bit, but you can see Naventic, they're not slowing things down. We saw in CTF Coliseum how ruthless these guys are when it comes to running the flag. Expect that in CTF Fathom as well.
Yeah, so we'll see. Looks like Naventic, they're not quite out of gas yet. They have not accepted defeat in this series. They know how close these games have been, and they are looking to send this into a game number 5 here. That railgun kill by Royal 2 top center, I'm pretty sure he took both players no shields with that shot. So just amazing that he was able to set up there and actually work on that return. And if they had just gone a moment earlier, we might have been seeing a flag standoff here, and the score might look completely different.
Big opportunity here. Rhinoob's running a flag. Prototype's the only guy alive to defend him, though. He does get towards the 50-yard line, but OpTic Gaming, they're going to stop another flag cap from Naventic. That's 2 or 3 returns coming in from these guys already. Nice little beatdown right there from Prototype. He's going to try to stay alive on over towards his engine. A couple free grenades trying to keep his shields alive just for a little bit. And it's always interesting to try to bounce grenades off that wall, because depending on how low or high you aim depends on how far the grenade goes. So good opportunities to get people off of your porch right there. Nice little defensive stand coming in from Naventic as well. OpTic Gaming, they're not going to be able to do much with this flag. They're just going to have to keep a guy top center and try to stay alive as long as possible. I believe that was Royal 2 who was the last guy alive. So we're going to see where the rest of these guys from OpTic decide to push. Everybody on the bottom of the map right now, whoever's going to be able to get towards top center, going to have some serious control. Railgun popping up on the map in 5 seconds. Again, Camo going to be about 10 seconds after that. Destroyed. He's already on top of it.
And they are putting a lot of resources over here towards this railgun. Great sticky grenade here. Comes out, picks up that kill on the Snakebite. Takes some damage here, pops out pretty quickly. The rest of Naventic, though, is laying down cover fire, so Destroyed able to stay alive here. Secures Prototype, a double kill. He's bouncing some grenades over there towards Treehouse. This is going to be a big one. Yes, Destroyed picks up Frosty, who was putting that camo into his chest right then. Grabs a hit marker. Now the collapse is coming in. 2 members from OpTic trapped in engine. One just came off spawn though, so they got to be careful to find this guy.
Ouch.
That's not what you want to have happen, although this flag is moving very quickly across the map by Contra.
What a play from Contra, going for the Spartan charge right there onto Frosty. Has to keep his shields and not allow Snakebite to go in here for this touch. Can Snakebite go in there and clutch it? A grenade flying in. Contra gets the nice headshot right there. Waiting for his shield. Smart play before he goes and gets this touch. Uses thrust at the right time and goes and ties this game up 1-1 here in Naventic. They've proven that they are worthy on CTF. They took that 3-2 CTF Coliseum game. Heck, they even almost took Regret Slayer 50-47. They have been playing out of their minds today. Now OpTic Gaming trapped in their base over towards the engine side. Naventic looking for cap number 2.
Yeah, Ryan loses the 1v1 to Royal 2. Royal 2 just going so clutch so often here for this OpTic Gaming squad. That was a scary moment. They had 2 people collapsing into the base there. That would have blocked spawns in engine and allowed and opened up the map here for the rest of Naventic.
Sure would, and now you're going to have potentially a counter pull coming in. 2 kills going on over to Ryan. A triple kill coming in from Ryan is going to slow things down. And this is what Naventic's done so well, Kyle. When OpTic Gaming is going and trying to get aggressive on their own, Naventic is coming from behind and running these flags when they don't expect it. Contra with a fantastic run, destroyed with a great flank, has to land these shots. 2 dead for OpTic Gaming right now. There goes the flag return. Snakebite's not going to be able to grab it. A couple people on this return. One more player in the engine. Can he go and do anything about it? He can't. The second flag cap going in favor of Naventic.
And Naventic, they're just so quick with the objective work here. Anytime OpTic Gaming is pushed out of their base, somebody is on a flank and working on a flag pull. Not a huge rate of success, but it's working out this game here, being up 2-1 now. Game is well past the halfway mark, although like we said earlier in that CTF Coliseum game, there could be an overtime should OpTic Gaming tie this up and the clock hit 0.
Kyle, you never know what happens when you push into the enemy base. And if you can ever get into a place where you're in the enemy base and you see even 1 kill pop up on that board, or if you get enough information that people have overextended, you can do some miraculous things. But it takes some serious teamwork to go and pull something off like that. And Naventic, they were able to do it. And now is another potential elbow run coming in for Naventic as OpTic Gaming's running this flag, but Naventic doesn't have control at this time. This has been one of the cleaner caps going in from OpTic Gaming. They do have a camouflage player as well, so this is most likely going to be, and it is cap number 2. We are all tied up, Kyle. Next caps are going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, either OpTic Gaming is going to close this one out, or we're going to see Naventic and OpTic Gaming in a game number 5. That's going to only be OpTic Gaming's second game 5 that we've seen from them here in this Pro League. The only other one going against Team Envious.
And it's going to come down to who's going to be able to get this railgun coming up here in the next 30 seconds. We've seen people do serious work with that weapon in previous games and in this game already. Royal 2 is waiting on that one 20 seconds before it comes up. He's just trying to control that bottom center area, so he could potentially be the player that goes huge. Going and taking a look and running through the kills, it seems like it's a very even game. Even maybe kills going in favor of Naventic until that was 3 dead right there. So that's actually going to tie the kills up. Top players in kills, Royal 2 right now with 16. Ryanoob on the other end with 16 as well. So in both CTF games, Ryanoob with the most kills on his team so far.
Yeah, Ryanoob is definitely having a great performance here today. Glad to see him still here in action. Glad to see all the players, because I know several of these guys are from Florida and we're having issues over the last few weeks, and that absolutely comes in, affects your mindset, affects the whole team's practice schedule.
Trees in your yard.
Trees in your yard, a trampoline landing there. You know, who knows what's happening for some of these guys here, but everybody's back in business. Power is back on, back connected to the internet, and you know, where the real world happens.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to have internet, you might as well not have power too. So let's be honest here. They're kind of one and the same. So we'll find out what happens here, though. 3 minutes left on the clock. I'm not expecting this one to go to overtime. 2 flags have been pulled right now. It's in the favor of OpTic Gaming because they have the numbers, but I do like this smart play. It's the only play for these guys coming in from Naventic, but they are getting pinched by all 4 members right now of OpTic. They all get in and get on the same page. OpTic Gaming just has to slay out these last 2 players. It looks like that's going to be Contra and Ryanoob. Contra having a desperate towards the window. Ryanoob does get a beatdown kill, but now he's faced in a 2-on-1 scenario while he's weak. He's doing a great job weakening both these players, but I don't think that bought enough time for these players to go and push in. Everyone doing their best effort on the Naventic side, but it's not going to be enough. OpTic Gaming, they are going to go and put this third flag capture in, and they are going to take this series 3-1.
But what an exciting series, Tom. That is a series that you can come off with a loss and still hold your head high. They knew they were, going up against OpTic Gaming. Clearly, everyone would have predicted 3-0, 3-1 in their favor. Now, this Naventic squad with this roster change, it's helped them a lot, it appears. They've struggled a lot in the past, but the fact that they're able to keep up with OpTic, the fact that they're able to focus and work so well as a unit there on those power-ups and power weapons, it's extremely impressive by the entire lineup there.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to give credit again to Naventic for keeping every single game close, Kyle. And that guy was actually no shields. I don't think he got the AoE damage that we originally thought. But every single game, Naventic could have potentially won. 3-2. I think it was 100-64, but still some big missed opportunities in that. 50-47 for game 2 and 3-2 in game number 1. As you said, definitely things to go and take back. If you're OpTic Gaming, you are not happy with this series at all. You are supposed to be the best team in the world, if not definitely a top 2 or 3 team for sure. And you let the 8th place team come in here and show and expose some potential weaknesses. Again, if you're the coach of Naventic too, if you're Swiftkill, you could take a lot of good and a couple of bad things in here, which are fairly easy to go and improve. So great opportunity to go and break down that film and find out if you're both teams where you ended up falling short. But if you're OpTic, definitely not happy with that performance, even though you got the win.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, this OpTic Gaming squad, they come into every game expecting to win and can win convincingly there. And Naventic just put up an amazing fight, prove that even though they're the number 8th seeded team, even though they have not had a win this entire Pro League season, they can still compete at the highest level. That is how good the teams are now in this Pro League.
Yeah, and it seems like the team change paid off for these guys. Again, even though they weren't able to